Hi everyone, Esther here, and thank you so much for joining my channel. I'm sorry for a little bit delayed few days with my October video. And I had we definitely were right now in the midst of the holidays, and the whole October, it's really intense months in the sense of energy, what's happened cosmically, plus it's the months where we celebrate most important holidays of which will reflect the year to come. And I do believe any astrologer who really understand in what spirituality, the energetical spirituality we're already in, to make really a prognosis, it's almost like to shoot yourself in the leg. And I will tell you what I mean by that, because right now, when I'm listening to some astrologer, what they predict and what they're saying, it's almost like we're canceling the creator we have within us. So for me, as someone who studied Kabbalah for many years, who really understand and practice and know the creator we have within us and how much power we have, we literally walk in gods. And what I'm saying by that, by walking gods, I'm talking about the spark of creator we have within us. There's a reason why Zohar and Talmud saying that even angels envy us. The whole creation, everything created just for us to serve us. And of course, you can see what's happening in the world, the chaos and the cleansing, and at the same time, so much light revealed. And we're really right now in a period of time, especially 2023 to 2024, where the earth herself need to determine who really need to stay and who needs to go, who's really not serving any longer the whole creation, who actually only create destruction and chaos and hatred for no reason, and how we are with animal kingdom, mineral kingdom, a vegetarian kingdom. This is everything for the next few years. It's going to be the cleansing on the level when we never experienced. And I'm not here to scare you, opposite, I'm here to celebrate the light of creator. And for us to understand, we're coming to the place where no longer we can behave without taking responsibility and to see the results. Because, every time when we talk about tikkun, incarnation, karma, what is really karma? Karma is the cause and effect in a nutshell, right? People try to complicate to explain what is the karma. It's very simple. It's the cause and effect. It's what we did and how we behave, and the reflection of that we see in our karmic results in our life. And even myself, I want to speak from my personal experience. Is a challenging time, because no matter how much you know and you see the people who you love and close to you, the chaos they experience, and many times they're trying to find answer. It's really not time about to find answer. It's the time to connect with your essence and to understand there's a law of creation, there's a rules of creation. And we're here really to follow the rules of creation. And I'm not talking about religiosity. I'm not talking about to put yourself in the, in the environment where you feel you're like in a closed box. No, absolutely not. While you study and learn what is rules of creation, this is how you gain the freedom. Because the freedom, it's not about you can do whatever you feel like it, and then you expecting certain results. The real freedom comes from working with the creation. When you understand what is really cause and effect, when what is really your thoughts, how powerful your thoughts, how much they affecting everything around you, because we're walking energy. Every time when we complain, we're not happy, we create this magnetic field around us, which will attract and bring to us exactly what we have. And the moment we realize we really have a power within us, and certain period of time, we don't even need to find the answers. Sometimes it's just good to zoom out and to observe yourself and what's happened from outside, and not to name things, just to, in any situation, try to change your approach. If, for example, certain things make you more reactive or sensitive, see how you can change a little bit. You cannot change right away, and it's the wrong way to do. You cannot completely fake it until you make it, in a sense of you know, you read a smart book, or you heard somebody giving you advice and you're trying to really work on it. It's great, but it's all about internal change. So this is why meditation is extremely important, because you will be able nowadays through the meditation to receive messages. You don't need psychic, you don't need anyone. You can receive messages from your ancestral lineages, from your higher self, from your mochin. Mochin, it's come from the word of moach, your mind, but it's the angel, the spirit who you're born with. And and you know, they're all waiting for us to start to talk to them, to talk to the creator within you. It's really, really important. So I just kind of want to start with that. I'm gonna go with a little bit step by step what's happening this month. And then on my weekly videos, I always will touch up on moon, because moon is extremely important, because, you know, moon change position every 2.5 days. And if, for example, in your chart, you have moon in certain degree and certain position, you're definitely going to feel that. And this month is definitely the, you know, dense months with so many events. But again, tonight, for example, we have one of the most powerful days of the whole entire year, the day of atonement. It's the Yom Kippur, is the day where our soul able to reach the energetical force of Binah. And if you remember the tree of life reality, the Binah, if you look at the tree of life, the Etz Chaim, you will see Binah on your left-hand side of the Keter. It's facing, you know, in polarity with Chokhmah. And Binah, it's really, it's one of the most important energetical force, which is represent final redemption. It's represent immortality. I do encourage you, I'm going to leave link for more information about Yom Kippur. If you're not familiar, I really recommend for you to read about Yom Kippur. And then after Yom Kippur, on the full moon, we're going to have a really important holiday, Sukkot. And the Sukkot, it represents when we pray for all 70 nations to bring the peace. And there's a lot of secrets. I'm going to make completely separate video about this full moon. And it's not just any full moon. Again, it's the full moon of the holiday of Sukkot. And Kabbalists give a lot of energy and emphasize a lot of for Sukkot and how to celebrate, what energy, what consciousness you need to have every time when you enter Sukkah in order to create more peace, in order to create an additional separation in case, especially between people. So let's go right now a little bit step by step. If you follow me on my Facebook, you can see on my Facebook as well, I post always really important upcoming events. So I'm just going to go with you guys. Let's start with Mercury, because Mercury already went direct in Virgo on October 2nd until October 11th. And I have to tell you, this is one of the best positions for Mercury, and really, really guys use to understand yourself, your process, and to, if you were planning to put things in writing, you can receive right now a lot of divine inspiration through the writing. Really, really important. Then we have on October 9, we have a full moon. Let's go to October 9. I'm going to move right now to October 9. Let me change. So let's see what's happened on the full moon on October 9. I'm just going to do kind of just preview for us. Okay, so they go. We have October 9, and we have full moon in Pisces. And if, again, remember, I do not practice Western astrology. We're talking about really direct sky, what's really happening right now, and what we have right now in the full moon. The full moon is going to be really interesting in Pisces. We have, at the same time, we have Sun with Mercury, and it's really, really powerful new moon. I mean, full moon. Don't forget the full moon have in the same house we have right now Jupiter. So Jupiter will help big time with our spirituality, with our divine inspiration, to understand things for our own tikkun process, our own karma process, what is really our own process and our own understanding of the light of creator. And I have to tell you guys, we no longer can even afford to just to see things the way they are. It's a much bigger picture behind everything what's happening right now in the world. And we have Mars. You can see the Mars here in Taurus. And Mars in Taurus, remember, he's going to stay here, one of the longest position for Mars to see in Taurus until March. But what's interesting, March will be transiting in Gemini on October 15 until October 13. So we're going to have a very interesting window between October 15 and October 13, where Mars is going to be in Gemini, and he's going to have kind of, we can make some decisions about our financial decisions. This is the window of time between October 15 until November 13. We can make some financial decisions, very careful decisions, but still we can make a decision like how to move your money. If your money, you invest in something and you're not sure about, if you know, what is really, if you're planning to sell property, maybe perhaps it's still some period of time, because after November 13, I do recommend for all of us to stay very tuned and very careful with any financial decisions while Mars will be retrograde in Taurus. And this period of time, this October, we need to make a final decision as well. What food represent for us? How much we eat food? Why do we need to eat so much if we're still in the old mentality of the food? How we can start to adopt in more fresh, raw food, a less amount, if perhaps you can consider intermediate diet, because we need to literally to start to prepare ourselves to new dynamic, the food, what food represent for us. We to only eat really healthy food, much smaller amounts than we used to. There's a reason why I'm telling you, because in this case, you don't need to come to place in shock when time comes and you realize, you know, I'm not here to tell you there's going to be, it's going to be shortage in the food supply, but it's not about that. We need to ask why it's happening. What cosmos teaching us? Why we in the first place start used to eat more than we're supposed to? What really food represent for us? This is Mars and Taurus. What money represent for us? What sustenance represents for us? And what is really, you know, Taurus as well, he comes from the second house, house of early family dynamic and self-worth, you know. So another thing, very, very important. This month, I have to tell you, this month it's so important because so many planets will be in a transition, will be in movement, a lot of things happen in the sky. But again, because this month of high holidays, a lot of things will be determined only after. So my channel, it's not for the typical people who come just to check what's happening in astrological world. This channel for really spiritual beings who really working on themselves, because if you're going to apply all the tools was provided to us to celebrate these holidays, and if you don't celebrate Kabbalistic holidays, you still can tune in and understand what it's about, what kind of prayers was given to us, because this is the period of time until Simchat Torah, the giving of the Torah, which is, remember, Torah is the life organism. It's not just any Bible book was given to practice religiosity. Absolutely not. It's the life organism with all the secrets and the focus of the law of creation. And if we're going to follow and to understand the power of the prayers, the power we have within us, we can connect to our essence and to create, to connect to our spirits who supporting us whole year come. We're going to, so to say, give them such a strong muscle for the whole year here to come. So whatever's happening in the sky, it's not going to affect you the way it's affecting the people who's not practice spirituality. So therefore, we cannot be, we need to be aware, we need to understand, because, you know, for example, we're going to have very tough days on October 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th, because a lot of things happening these days. We're going to have a Saturn stationary. I was preparing you for this for the whole summer. Since beginning of the summer, I made video and I told you guys, everything what's happened now since Saturn back to Capricorn, to his own sign, which is his only once in 18 years. He's going to leave his sign, he's going to be stationary and then move until I think January 17. He's going to move, start a transition from Capricorn to Aquarius, thank God. So before he's going to move, he's going to make sure we did our homework. So plus we're going to have a solar eclipse on 22nd, 23rd. Very powerful solar eclipse, okay? So if you're traveling, if you're planning anything, this is not the days for you to really, I recommend, if possible, not to make any really important decisions. And if you have Zohar at home, if you have a spiritual books, this is the days to meditate, to connect, to really to understand, to volunteer, to see if you can give time and energy to someone who really needs. It's not just about money, but definitely a good idea to, to donate. I hope you have organization who you trust, and you always on monthly basis, you donate at least 10%, because 10% is not really even belong to us. I have one of the videos I made about sustenance. I'm definitely preparing another one. I'm going to leave you guys a few links, connect to the holidays connect to the October of the holidays. I'm going to send you a few links from the Kabbalah Center. I wanted to, if you want, so you will have extra tools to go learn and to connect. Okay. Now, Mars, I want to again to remind you guys about Mars. Until October 15, Mars a little bit more, active, but Mars, what's really interesting, if you can see, Mars having wings of angel. So Mars have a lot of messages for us, and because it's touching, it's really not far from, battle gates and regal. By the way, it's not far from star of regal. It's actually connect to bigger understanding of sustenance. Remember, while a lot of people can lose money and they lose a lot of things, this is the same time to understand how to make money and how to gain more sustenance with patience and spiritual tools and donations. So you will be surprised if you will make right decision with right consciousness. For the long term, you will experience a lot of sustenance to come. This is what, already knowing, and it's even checked by me. I have so many examples of my students, my clients, myself, the time when the world actually having really hard time with financial, and by, cleansing. It's all about this cleansing of the sustenance, which is money is raw energy, right? So this is why everything what's happening right now is the accumulation of bigger picture. So this is period of time when you actually can create new seeds for years to come with your sustenance. And it's not longer about how much money you're going to have, it's the quality of money you're going to have. You understand? It's really important for us to understand that as well. We're going to have a sun transit in Libra. As I said, it's going to be on October 17 to November 16. So it's going to be, it's actually a positive time, because when Sun in Libra, we all gonna feel even more connecting what is the relationship represent for us as well. And again, the whole month of October is the energy of Libra too, right? It's interesting, always the high holidays, it's full on months of Libra. I discussed this in all my videos. Now, what's really important as well, I want us to understand now, Jupiter remains retrograde until November 23rd. So he's still in retrogradation position. So Jupiter, instead to give us more support, when Jupiter retrograde, he almost like activating energy of spirituality inside of us to understand things on a higher level. You see, Jupiter in Hebrew, it's tzedek. It's almost the same word of righteous, tzaddik. So when Jupiter retrograde, he challenging spiritual people even more, because it's not enough to be spiritual in a comfort zone. Your real spirituality can be known to you when you're going through the hard time, when you feel the world almost like falling apart in front of you, and you're holding to your trust, to your imunah. This is real spirituality. You understand, guys? It's really important. I want right now for us to understand what's happened with Neptune. I'm going to show you something with Neptune. Neptune 29 degrees. While we're going to go through everything in October, we cannot underestimate what Neptune's going to do here. We're going to receive potentially, will be touched by illusionary reality. And we have to be very careful. We're going to feel energetically, because he's going to actually trigger Mars as well. He's going to trigger Pluto. And Neptune behind the scene, activating this month, October and November, I want us to pay close attention every time what's happened with Neptune. If, for example, now Neptune in a position, for example, this is October 9, in a position with Mercury, because Mercury will start the movement, right? And we have, we're gonna have his squaring as well, one of the nodes. Now, another thing, uh, what can potentially happen, it really depends where Mercury in your chart. Our nervous system will be triggered more than ever months of October and partially November, almost until November 25th. I want to tell you guys something very important. When you're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed and nervous, and you're going to be kind of try to make decisions for your own self, how to feel and see about certain things. Don't forget about vegetarian kingdom. We have a lot of herbs, a lot of natural medicine, which can help us now these days to be more positive, I mean, more calm, and to help your body, and nothing wrong with that. Actually, in the portion of the Zohar Yitro, one of my favorite portion, by the way, if you know who's the Jethro, in Hebrew it's Yitro, in English I know it's pronounced Jethro. He was the father-in-law of Moses, and in the, is the one of the portion dedicated to him. You have to ask, he's probably was really high soul, right? He knew secrets about creation, about face and palm reading. He knew how he knew the energy about people. He was one of the mentors and teachers of Moses as well. Now, if you have Zohar at home, this is really excellent portion to study. There's a lot of secrets about herbs, and it says in the Zohar there that there's never any illness can appear in our dimension without have herbs actually growing on earth can help to recover from this illness. But the reason it's not revealed to us, to most of us, because then we're not going to work on our spiritual process. It says, unfortunately, many times, only when we're going through the difficulties on the physical level, only then we wake up and start to ask questions, why it's happened, what can I change, how can I change my diet, how can I change my thoughts. Now, this period of time, I won't lie to you, a lot of us will be triggered on nervous system. We're going to feel a little bit like we're inside of electrical zone, no matter how spirituality you know. So this is why I recommend for you to be more consistent with your meditation. Try to put your clock, if you wake up on certain time, make an effort to wake up 30 minutes early, and make a really routine for yourself to have a meditation before you even open your cell phone. If you do brachot shachar, the morning prayers, we're not really supposed to open or do anything before we finish prayers, in order for us to stay focused with our soul and not to have any interference from any other forces from outside world, especially illusionary reality. In this case, when we do our prayers, when we do meditation, we almost create additional tools, additional protection before we live in our home to the outside energy, outside world, and we much stronger working beings. And start to learn about different herbs. There's a group of herbs. I'm going to post on my Facebook different herbs, which is really good for moon sign, can help you to focus. One of my favorite herbs, I'm just telling you right now, it's called radiola, RHADIOLAH. Radiola. I really recommend for you guys to check this herb, because it's used to grow only in Sibir, in Russia, and in Himalaya. Now it's growing in most of the countries where there's a cold weather. It's a really unique herb. This herb contains two different energetical forces. It can make you calm and focus in the same time. So I really recommend for you to check. And at evening, there's so many different herbs you can take to have a good deep sleep. So I recommend for you to help your body to go to natural medicine and learn more about. Is more you're going to learn about different herbs, you will have your own personal connection, and your own soul will tell you which herb will be good for you. You will be surprised how many messages you can get from the healer within you. Okay, very important. Now I'm going to end my video with one of the short videos from my teacher Rav, just to give us more consciousness and strength to our souls, and to remind us who we are, what is the mission, why we're here in the first place, and give us more courage. Okay, guys, if you celebrate Yom Kippur, I'm wishing you Chag Sameach, Gemar Chatima Tova, easy fast, and Tzom Kal, and Happy New Year, guys, Shana Tova, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
99% of all occurrences and all matters that take place in our universe have already been predestined. And it is not by chance that the Zohar, which we will be discussing this evening in Miketz, deals with the aspect of memory. Rabbi Shimon Amar, hu makom she'ein bo zchira. The word Miketz means where there is no memory. It is that place that exists within us. In other words, it seems to be a consciousness, it seems to be a force within us, like a little bank that stores information but does not permit that information to be revealed, because obviously once we come in contact with a certain amount of information, we have absorbed that information, we placed it into our mind computer, and yet when we ask for a recall, when we ask to tap into that same consciousness, we find a blank, like the computer went bad. But it really isn't. I can't say it went bad, because we're still functioning, and yet we, for whatever reason, we can't seem to grasp it. In other words, we live in illusion most of the times. We do not connect to that internal 99% of reality, because that is the level of Zeir Anpin, and that's why we pray, we do other mitzvot, for no other reason, that we can connect with the world of illusion, and therefore time, space, and motion ceases to exist for us. If tomorrow is known today, as scientists also agree, then why don't we see tomorrow? The answer is, those who are connected to Zeir Anpin do see tomorrow, do see the next day, as the prophets. Now, it wasn't only reserved for prophets, says the Zohar, it is reserved for every single individual who can rise above that level of illusion, because illusion means time, space, and motion. And if one can adjust himself and condition himself to rise above that 1% illusionary reality, then he is connected to the world of reality, where time, space, and motion does not exist. In other words, I don't have to do something today and wake up tomorrow and say, now why did I do something as stupid as that? And that we're all not stupid, and certainly we don't admit to being stupid, then how come we do so many foolish things throughout our life? It is only afterthoughts that we begin to recognize the mistakes we made. But why couldn't we recognize those mistakes as they were happening? Because, says the Zohar, we are not connected, for the most part, to the world of reality, where time, space, and motion does not exist. Therefore, the Zohar says here that Joseph was in a depressed state. A depressed state means what? When does a person go into depression? When he feels a lack. One who feels or has fulfillment has no place, or depression has no place within his life. Depressed means like a depressed tire. The air goes out. The thing that keeps this alive went out. So when someone is depressed, it means that the light, the fulfillment, that energy that is so vital to keep the individual moving has become depressed, meaning it has not been removed, but has been pressed down. In other words, a vacuum has been created, and a vacuum means time, space, and motion. Then how could Joseph come to a state of depression because he was confined in prison? Umeshiv, and the Zohar answers, when Joseph observed the dream of the wine steward, It is certainly a dream of remembrance, of memory. V'hu ta'a b'zeh, and he made a mistake. Ki b'hakadosh baruch hu haya hakol. For in the Creator is everything. Now this is the Zohar, and without Rabbi Ashлаг's very, very lengthy discourse on just these few words of the Zohar, we could not understand just what was taking place in this portion of the week, plus for our benefit. What can we derive from this coded message that we seem to have so many questions that we've raised? The answer is, says Rabbi Ashlag, that the aspect of remembering or failing to have a recall of information depends, as usual, on one aspect, on whether we are injecting or whether we are tapping the energy of these three energy forces, left, right, and central. If one of these are missing, the flow of energy, that which is potential in our minds, that which we acquired yesterday in the way of information, that information that we shall acquire tomorrow, which is going to be my information, no, it's for the rest of my life, until 120 years of all of us, we will amass information. Is that information here now? The answer is yes. Then why do we not, or why are we not capable of accessing into that kind of information? Says the Zohar, because if the central column is not operative, if that central column, which means restriction, is not part and parcel, and is not a constant feature in our human mind computer, it is like you took off the electrical current in a computer. When you do not access into that central column, there is a constant battle, whether we are conscious of it or whether we are not conscious of it. And this explains the ups and downs, because there is a battle between two forces within us, two forces within the world, two forces that we may not be even aware of, called right and left. They are two constant forces in this world as they exist in a computer. Two forces, right and left. Desire to receive, desire to share. They are constantly at war with each other. And because they are constantly at war with each other, each one can't get his point across, because each one makes an attempt to block out the other. And therefore, this aspect of remembering, this aspect of maintaining a level of consciousness does not exist for most people. What is the secret? What is the secret? When you have battles, you're busy with maintaining yourself, because you're up and down every day. So you're so consumed in the battle of every day, of up and down, that you don't see the forest from the trees. However, if you inject the energy intelligence, says the Zohar, of Kavam Sa'i, of the central column, then you have a balance between the right and left, and you have an even, constant flow.